Hi everyone. So I finished Tiger King season 2 as one of the only people in the world right now because it's only been out for a couple hours because I have no life, and I thought why not share how I feel about it. Maybe it can help some people decide if they're gonna watch it or if they just think the whole story has been told in season 1 and season 2 has not that much new to offer. Let's just start with season 1. Season 1 was great because it was unpredictable. You had no idea how the story was progressing. You had no idea like who's the bad guy, what crime has been done, what is just he said, she said, and how is this gonna end. So there really was like a whole chunk of meat of story to tell. And you could tell because there were like 8 hours of footage, so 8 episodes, each is like roughly 1 hour. And the new season only has 5 episodes. It's just one minor indicator. I thought after season 1 the whole story has been told. Why do we need a second season? Is this necessary? And then I watched the first episode of season 1, and it was interesting to see like how many of these people that were in season 1 are living in mansions now, if they weren't before, like Carol Baskin. But there was definitely some financial gain for them, which is good. Like, I hope so. If I would be starring in a Netflix show, I would hope to make some coin from that. That was what was interesting in the first episode, and then it got right back into the story. The story that we've heard in the first season. Did Carol Baskin kill her husband? Did she not do it? Joe Exotic is in jail. All of that. If you are watching season 2 because you want to find out anything new about Carol Baskin and that case, let me tell you right now, you are not going to be satisfied. They are showing some behind the scenes of the investigation, how they're working together with their lawyer. They also have some investigator from the internet, and they are like searching the bottom of a lake with a diver, and they're not finding anything, and they are hiring a spiritual medium and they're not finding anything. And yeah, it's just a whole bunch of no evidence. Nothing new is being revealed. We are regurgitating the old story that she went to the supermarket and was left there for like 4 hours, like in a window where she can't explain what she did. Her car apparently broke down. Her husband has been missing the same night, and it's all suspicious, but there's no evidence. So that's that on that. She's still rich, still living her best life, not being prosecuted. She was on Dancing with the Stars. They're also talking about that, and the lawyer made a commercial with the daughters of Carol's dead husband. I don't know his name. I feel like they are all named Jeff in Tiger King. I don't know. Is his name Jeff? I don't know. And they made a commercial asking for answers, and they had billboards where it was plastered $100,000 for anyone that has evidence. None of that led to anything. So basically after the commercial, the family decides they don't want that lawyer anymore because he seems like he's just cloud chasing. Then they go with a different lawyer that's not really a lawyer. He's just a private investigator, and he's mostly investigating through Facebook. I'm not saying that that doesn't work, but the the show in general is portraying several different people very, I don't know, it feels like they are trying to portray a certain image from certain people, but they want you to make the conclusion. And I'm going to talk about that later when I'm going to talk about a guy that's also named Sue. That was like kind of weird for me, that situation. But yeah, so they switch lawyers. This old lawyer that's not working for the family anymore is now working for Joe Exotic to get him out of jail. So, and he's like, I hope he's gonna do a great job. And I was like, well, if he's not gonna do a great job with the first family, how's he gonna help you now? But anyway, there's also a little plot twist I'm gonna get to in the end, so you can decide at the end of the video if you actually want to watch this and not get spoiled. Because I feel like the first season was living so much off of the plot twists and like the twists and turns, and there's just one in this new season, and it's in the last episode. So I'm gonna get to that at the end of the video. So yeah, that's basically the story up until episode 5, I think. And you're like, why is this all being regurgitated? There's no new evidence. There's nothing new to tell to the story. Is this really just like to rehash the hype? Is there anything new coming? And then there are two completely new parties introduced. One is an East European self-proclaimed bitch, and that's always right. She was kind of fun. I kind of liked her, but I was confused why she was in this, and she was only in it for like 5 minutes. And the other one is a guy that is also called Sue because of some old song. And that is the point where I feel like the TV show was trying to make him look mentally unstable. It's hard to tell. It feels like they are just trying to be objective, but also there are these little hints in between, or these like undertones when they change the music to like a very silly music. When this guy is talking about him having two sides inside of his brain or inside of his personality, where one is called Sue and that's friendly and nice, and that's who his wife is married to, and the other side is this self-proclaimed asshole that's gonna get his will, and he says fuck you to everyone, and he does say fuck you to everyone throughout the rest of the episode. But it felt weird that being portrayed like that, because sometimes you're like, are you really trying to be objective, or are you just showing me these people in a certain light so everybody's looking bad? And that's what I felt in this season, stronger than in season one, that they are trying to paint everyone as the bad guy, but also at the same time not paint them too much as the bad guy, because they are still working with them. They're still having this successful Netflix show that has to keep going, so they can't be as mean as they want to. It's like a very weird balance the whole time. I like it that you like can't pick sides, and you can't be like, okay, that's the camp of the assholes and that's the camp of the nice people, and we like those but we hate those. That doesn't really work. I kind of like that, but at the same time it's a little confusing. In the end, I was feeling left asking myself, what does the show even want? What is the goal behind this? Is it to tell the story? Is it to rehash the story? Is it to tell a new story? Because we were talking about this new guy for a whole fifth and half of the sixth episode. This was another guy that was mistreating animals, and he was prosecuted by the law, and so he was Joe Exotic 2.0. But do we need that? And does that mean the show is going on until season 8? Because we're following all the lawsuits now, and we are following every person that's mistreating animals. And on the one hand, I'm like, okay, that's really good. Like, we are helping the animals. And on the other hand, I'm like, where's this gonna end, and what is the story, and is it the same as season one? Because I felt like season one had this really once in a lifetime compelling story that went viral and everybody was in on it. Season two just felt like an addition to season one, also with like a little spin-off. And talking about this painting everybody as the bad guy, there was a whole episode talking about Carol husband's Carol husband's Carol Baskin's ex-husband, and that he's also a bad guy and that he's also horrible. So this show just felt like pointing fingers at everyone, but for what reason? Is this just like the Kardashians with animals, or what's going on? It was, for me, very much focused on the drama and the spectacle, and not that much focused on the animals. And it got that focus back right in the end, like literally right in the end. It was focusing back on the animals that had been rescued and that are in sanctuaries now, and pointing attention to the fact that animals still need help, and exotic animals can't be held in a little cage, and they don't belong in captivity because tigers travel 800 miles, for example. So it did make that point in the end. Maybe it was a little too late for that, because it was so focused on all the drama before that I was like, okay. It's hard to say like it's not worth it, because in the end there are animals being saved and there are good things being done, and maybe there's like wrongdoings in the law being reversed, so it is doing good things. But I just felt myself asking, do I need this as an ethics show? Do I feel entertained by it? I did finish all of it in one sitting. Is it something that's living up to the hype as it had last year, where I was like, you have to watch this, you can't get around it, Tiger King is everywhere? I would say no. I don't see that happening this year for Tiger King 2. There's not that much story, there's a lot of rehashing going on. Leads being followed, but it's always a dead end and it's leading nowhere, and in the end we're left at the same position where we were at the end of season 1. So this felt very much to me like an attempt to keep the hype up, to keep it going, and to keep the money flow going, and to keep all of us also engaged in the whole story, because in the end it doesn't really resolve at a new point of where we were before. So now I want to talk about the plot twist. So that is also in the very last episode, and I would even say you don't have to watch the whole season, just watch the last episode, because the rest is just filler. I explained everything in this video, just watch the last episode. But it got interesting in the end, because the hitman that was actually supposed to be hired by Joe Exotic was actually conspiring with Jeff to kill Joe Exotic. They were trying to get Joe Exotic out of the way, doesn't matter how. Maybe he's going to jail or he's gonna get killed, doesn't matter to them. They had the same plan they had for Carol Baskin, which was to have a wire strapped between two trees and they would drive through it and get decapitated. That was the plan both times. The only thing that changed was the victim. So the hitman that Joe Exotic was actually trying to hire was actually trying to kill him. It's a great plot twist, but that was the only thing that really happened. If that twist wouldn't have been there and the animals wouldn't have been saved, I would have been like, why is this here? Is this necessary? Do we need this? Yeah, but it wasn't there. So do I think you have to watch it? No. Did I still enjoy it? Mildly. Yeah. I wasn't on my phone, so it was captivating. I don't know if I'm gonna watch season 3. If there's not anything major, like if Joe doesn't get out of jail because everybody is. Oh, yeah, that's also part of the plot twist. They're all just switching sides, and however they are seeing fit is when they're changing their story and the narrative. I don't know if I want to follow that anymore. It's very much gossipy and drama-y, and I'm kind of over that. No shade if you like this or if you enjoyed this. If this is your cup of tea, amazing. I just voiced my opinion, and if you're happy with it, that's great. That was my 2 cents and what I had to say about this. Definitely tell me if you're going to watch this, if you already watched it, what do you think about it? Do you also think it was a little bit of a filler season, or do you think no, it was very much entertaining and lived up to season 1 just fine? Definitely tell me that, and yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.